Hello, Chris Crutcher. A few questions for you to answer. What are your feelings about being banned so often?
I've been banned so often, I really don't. I've gotten so I don't have feelings about it. It's just kind of a way of life for me.
Why do you think you're banned so often?
I have to listen to the people who ban me, and it's because I tell stories in realistic language, and because I talk about issues that make people uncomfortable.
Do you think your personal experiences, whether it's banning or other experiences, influence your work?
No, I mean my personal experiences as a human influence my work, but I don't. Nothing about being banned ever influences my work. I just tell the story, and if the banning always comes after the story's told.
Do any of your main characters remind you of people you know?
All my main characters remind me of people I know. I take my main characters from real people.
Are they actual real people or composites?
They can be either.
Either?
Either, yeah.
Have you ever considered changing your writing style so you wouldn't be banned as often?
Never.
Why?
It just it would defeat the purpose of telling good stories.
So what inspires Chris Crutcher?
I'll see something happen out in the real world. I'll watch television. I'll read something in the news. I see something that happens to people I know, and a storyteller's natural instinct is to take something out in the real world and throw it into a story. So that what inspires me is almost anything that happens.
What do you do when you're not writing?
I do the same things everybody does. I clean my house. I exercise. I see my friends.
Have any hobbies?
Nothing
Sports?
special. No.
Okay. Was it your idea to make a swim team, the swim team in Whale Talk, was it your idea to make them different, unique, kind of outcast kids? Was that purposeful?
That was the whole idea behind the story. Yeah.
Does Whale Talk relate to anything in your personal past?
Oh, there's a lot of the characters. A lot of the characters in Whale Talk are from my personal past. The incident with the man running over the child was a fictionalization of a story that happened to a friend's father when I was in grade school. A lot of it is I coached a swim team that had almost no swimmers, no real swimmers on it.
Was it true they didn't have a pool either?
And then they didn't have a real pool. They had a hole with water in it.
How long does it take you to write a novel like Whale Talk?
It's it can be anywhere from probably 7 months to 2 years. It really depends on what all else you're doing and how inspired you are and how hungry you are and how soon you need to get it done and how much your editors want you to hurry up and get it done.
Where did the title Whale Talk come from?
It came from a story that I read in Sports Illustrated a long time ago about that just spoke to the fact that whales had a sophisticated language and that they were probably, in that language, they were probably truthful.
That the concept of lying wasn't possible
part
for whales?
Isn't part of whale
or animals?
Makeup, or animal makeup, yeah.
What makes you write about this type of situation?
It's this kind of situation I know about. I've been a therapist and a teacher, all my life.
Did you plan on the father's death as a punishment or redemption?
I planned on it as an act of revenge by an angry man. So it wasn't put in there. It wasn't put in there for redemption, but the fact that it happened created redemption.
Okay, so it wasn't something that you planned in the plot device.
Right.
Why don't you just write books that schools will allow students to read?
Because I don't have any stories in me that would fit that mold.
Why do you write about different ethnic groups and their struggles, and why do you use such strong language, such as the N-word?
I write about it because we live in a diverse culture and we live in a diverse world, and if I were to take out ethnicity, I'd be taking out reality. The word nigger is probably as bad a word as we have in our language, and it's used for a specific purpose. It's used, it goes back to slavery. It's a vicious word, and it's used by racists. And when I put it in stories, I put it in there used by racists, because that's how nasty racism and that kind of exclusivity and bigotry is. And you can't write about the nastiness of it without telling the truth about it.
Did you ever consider killing someone besides the father, Heidi or TJ?
I don't think I ever did. I thought that's a scene I wrote one time. I didn't go back and I didn't second guess myself on that scene at all.
Just made sense to you?
Yeah, it made sense to me that he would try to kill Heidi, and it made sense to me that the dad was going to be the one who stepped in front of it.
What was the importance of the deer scene when TJ was trying to protect the deer and it was killed? What if you took it out? Would there still be enough conflict between Rich and TJ?
Well, you could create the conflict between Rich and TJ, but the deer scene lays out the true differences between TJ and Rich Marshall. I mean, the deer is innocence, and TJ
stands up for
cannot accommodate what Rich is about to do, and Rich can't see TJ's point of view, and TJ sure as hell can't see Rich's point of view.
That was what it was for. Do you feel emotions when your characters do? When TJ's angry, are you angry? I mean, do you reflect those feelings?
Not so much. You don't feel those emotions while you're writing it, because so much of writing is an intellectual, cognitive process. Later, when I'm reading it, I feel it, just like I do when I'm reading a book that I haven't read before. But when I'm creating it, it's a craft. So I have to know about it, but I have to be removed enough from it to be able to actually.
So the writer's almost an observer.
The writer's an observer.
Right. Have you ever considered writing another genre besides realistic fiction?
I've considered it, but it's not going to happen. I don't think I'd be very good at it.
Anything else you want to say?
Not that I can think of, other than just thanks for having me in your classroom, even though I'm not in your classroom.
And that should do it. Thanks a lot.